Blue Sky. Will Blue Sky send X or Twitter to MySpace? It's a new platform that everybody has ran to really post-election. Now, I remember Blue Sky coming out about a year ago, shortly after Elon Musk had purchased Twitter and then renamed it X. A lot of people was upset, right? Afterwards, we saw Threads created or maybe unveiled. We saw an app called Spill, and we had Blue Sky. All was invite only. I remember a lot of people running out of invites on Spill, had to wait. Remember a lot of people running out of invites on Blue Sky. Threads, you just connected to your Instagram. There was a problem though with Threads, I remember. They didn't really have trending topics. Didn't really have hashtags. It's kind of hard to find those conversations. But they really want you to like build on a thread. You create a conversation and keep going. You ask a question. Then I remember when there was the app, when with Spill, it was cool, focused on photos, whatever. It just didn't hit. I know it was Black owned and you know, you want to support your own, but it just didn't hit. Now, I didn't have Blue Sky immediately. To be honest with you, it was a Saturday, and I remember sitting there, and then my manager texted me, said, "Hey, create us a Blue Sky account. Look like this is where everything is going." So I got the login information, created my personal account. It seems like a lot of people are merging over there. I hear a lot of stuff about it's less toxicity. You know, some of the stuff you see, people say, no, keep that on that Bird app or that X, right? But I like it. So I'm interested to know, what do you think? Now, if I had one criticism, right now it's the videos. One, they can only be 1 minute and less than 50 megabytes. Now, as somebody who is a content creator, as somebody who produces a lot of videos on a daily basis and who watches a lot of videos, come on now, I need more than a minute. But, you know, gotta give it time. But I do like the starter packs. If you haven't got a chance to check it out, it's very cool. So you can create a starter pack where if you have like a bunch of accounts, like say wrestling fans, right? Somebody on wrestling Twitter came over. They said, here are all the wrestling content creators. So that's what's cool about it. But it makes me wonder, is this the app to finally do it? Is this the app that's going to finally put X away? I don't remember everybody kind of leaving MySpace. I remember MySpace was fun in your 20s. Yeah, of course, you had a couple older people in there. But for us who were fresh out of high school, MySpace was cool because what it did was we were able to reconnect with some people. But then, you know, we was on there setting up our pages, had music page, you know, you had your photos, you had your albums. I wish I still remember the password, to be honest with you. But then there was Facebook, and Facebook was a little bit more cleaner. It was easier to use. But eventually, everybody kind of faded away from MySpace, and they were using Facebook. And then Twitter came out. Twitter was cool because some people was like, well, what is Twitter? Well, it was just Facebook statuses. It was just updating what you're doing all the time in real time. You saw celebrities on there. Me, I knew it was a big deal when I saw them advertising it on television. I said, okay, cool. I'm with this. You know, I'm going to post a tweet. You know, what was the thing? TwitPic. But then, you know, as it got older and, you know, the ads and the money, that's what it really is. That's when it just wasn't as fun anymore. It just wasn't. But I'm still going to stay there. I'm going to ride until the wheels fall off, but I'm going to be on Blue Sky as well. So I want to know, what are y'all going to do? Are y'all going to stick with Twitter or X? Or are you going to move on over? Will we see the end? I thought Threads could have did it at first. I said, well, you got your Instagram, right? And then you put that, you already got it kind of merging together. I can see people moving on over. I didn't think Spill would do it. I just didn't. But Threads dropped the ball. Let's call it for what it is. They dropped the ball, and here we are. Everybody's on Bluesky. We're going to see how long this lasts. Only time will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up on this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings, I have some very uncomfortable conversations that I'll be bringing up about something that happened with children in the Maryland school system. Also, I went down the Aaron Hernandez rabbit hole as I finished the FX series, and it took me back, so I'll talk about that. But then, of course, I'll talk about some fun things in sports coming up after this message. I just want to remind you that you can save 10% on your order with Symphony of Balloons, a luxury balloon company that also offers a 360 camera. Just simply mention you heard about them on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show is brought to you by B. Waters Productions and 6 Heart Media. Folks, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, the fight happened. It's over. Mike Tyson's boxing career is hopefully over. I didn't see the fight live. I fell asleep. It was late. It was a Friday night. And, I had intended on watching a lot, but I watched the SmackDown. It was a day of traveling. I was out of town. So I fell asleep. I woke up, found out the results. Didn't see the need to rush and watch it. Finally, I said, I'm going to talk about it on the pod, so I'm going to watch it, right? I watched it yesterday. Now, I had said Tyson is going to put the young kid over. In wrestling terms, that means you agree to lose to make somebody else look better. People told me I was crazy. Nah, man, he's not going to put him over. What is wrong with you? I said, Tyson going to put that young kid over. I seen video clips where you will see Jake Paul say, all right, easy, Mike. Then there's clips where it looks like Mike could have just went right in. Now, regardless of what, because I'm one who believe a lot of sports are predetermined. But regardless of what, it was 2024 and we got to see Mike Tyson in the ring. Where in 2014, we would not have thought we would have seen Mike Tyson in the ring. When in 2004, we were saying, all right, Mike, it's time to hang it up. Big props to him. Regardless of what, he still had to go out there. Now, what I did think was interesting was the contrast of entrances. Jake Paul is riding out in style with his brother Logan. And Mike is walking. I'm like, why is he walking the AT&T ramp? But, he's passionate about fighting. He got a chance to go in there. I don't know how people feel about Jake Paul as far as a boxer. Some people saying fight some real fighters. Some people say, well, he's beaten some people. Who knows? But congratulations. They made a lot of money. Over 60 million people viewed it on Netflix. The biggest fight ever. And I think the best part about this was the women's fight that took place. Because now, with that fight, you got to see them put over. And that's what was amazing. But it's over. I hope we don't see Mike Tyson fight again. He said he wanted to fight Logan. And Logan said, Mike, I will kill you. Now, here's the thing, folks. Both of them are WWE superstars and or Hall of Famer. So, yeah, it's a work. I can see Mike Tyson and Logan Paul working easily. But moving on. Cam Newton, man. What is wrong with the Carolina Panthers? Absolutely disrespected that man. When you think about different NFL franchises, right? You think about certain players. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the long history franchises like your Dallas Cowboys, your San Francisco 49ers. No, because they've been around forever. But let's talk about some of the more recent ones, right? Obviously, you have the Baltimore Ravens. You're going to think about Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, Jonathan Ogden. Lamar Jackson isn't putting himself in that case. Joe Flacco, yes, because he brought them a Super Bowl, right? When you think about Jacksonville Jaguars, Fred Taylor, Jimmy Smith, maybe Keenan McCardell, maybe definitely Mark Brunell. And I would say, I'm going to say Byron Leftwich, Calais Campbell. And so, and one more franchise before I get to the Carolina Panthers, the Houston Texans, right? You obviously going to think about Andre Johnson. Probably would have thought about Deshaun Watson, and he did what he did. Matt Schaub. People who have been successful with the franchise, maybe or may not have won the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, none of them has won the Super Bowl except the Baltimore Ravens out of the teams I named. But think about the Carolina Panthers. Now, out of all teams I named, I said the Ravens are the only one that won the Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers reached the Super Bowl not once, but twice. They also went with a 15-1 record with who at quarterback? Cam Newton, who was the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. So how do you exclude? They talked about his picture wasn't hanging up, right? They went to London. They had Steve Smith Sr., Luke Kuechly, I believe Thomas Davis. Not Germany. And he said he didn't get an invite. How can you exclude this man? You know what I mean? Yeah, Jake Delhomme took them to the Super Bowl, but I'll name some quarterbacks that you probably forgot reached the Super Bowl because they didn't win and they really wasn't that impactful. You know what I mean? You think about Kerry Collins, you think about Stan Humphries, you think about Chris Chandler. These are guys. Brock Purdy was kind of, he still may be. We don't know what his legacy is going to be. Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not saying, because Cam didn't win either. Oh, Kerry Collins. Cam didn't win either. But when he did win the MVP, he made people a fan of your team outside of states. He made people come see you on the road. That's what Cam Newton did. All respect to Steve Smith Sr., one of my favorite players that I even said, I put him in the Ravens Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor. He did what he did all 3 years. He gave it his all, kept them in relevancy. You could like to think that if he'd have stuck around, they would have won the Super Bowl. Yeah. So it's disappointing that the Carolina Panthers would not have Cam Newton's number, jersey, photos, and invite him and make him a part of the franchise. It's disappointing, man. I watched his podcast and he brought up an idea about for the 10-year anniversary, kind of doing a pod and having like a celebration. They said, nope. Or as we like to say on the wrestling round, they gave him the dusty. Nah, baby, that's just somebody else. Go keep you right where you at. So that's unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate how they do Cam Newton like that. And speaking of Cam Newton, I was watching this clip of Michael Irvin. He's talking about his son. His son's a rapper, and he was rapping, and he got this, and Michael Irvin brought up and said, man, the stuff you rapping about, you didn't live that life. That wasn't you. And he responded by doing what kids do, going online, making a video talking about, yeah, my dad said I live in a 50,000 50,000 square feet house. I didn't know no 50,000 square feet house, more like 10,000. And he just beginning to show his privilege, right? And Cam said, that ain't it. And it's unfortunate you see a lot of these kids, these athletes' kids, right? You know, a lot of people want to see legacy. They want to see legacy. We're looking at Bronny James Jr., who, may I add, is in the G League, but they say he's not going to do road games. Now, I've been on the Bronny train. I've been rooting for him. That's not something I agree with. He hasn't done nothing to earn that right. Because quite frankly, if I'm being honest, he do look like a little kid out there playing amongst men. You know, his game, he don't have that like that drive to say, all right, I'm a man amongst boys. You know, when he was in college and when he goes out there on the NBA floor, it's a cool moment. I'm happy to see it. I'm rooting for him, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie to myself and say, oh yeah, he looks like he's going to be a star. So yeah, he should be in the G League and he should be traveling, but they don't because they fly a coach. And that's the type of stuff that when you look at these legacy kids, it's like, okay, are they willing to put in the grind, the hard work? Because they essentially have. He's already a millionaire on his own, not just trust funds and allowances. He's already a millionaire. You know what I mean? Now, congratulations to Cayenne Anthony, because then when I see him, I see a dog. Sure, he's going to have some of those same privileges as Bronny James. We all know, like, you know, LeBron got a little bit more money than Carmelo Anthony, but no doubt about it, they both multimillionaires, and Lala doesn't do bad for herself either. But it almost seems like Cayenne has like a different mindset, because it's almost like he's got like his father still had that grinding mentality, and it seems like Cayenne's going to take the same thing. Like just when I watch their game and their presence on the court, it's like boom, they go at it. So, you know, I look at that and I'm looking at Michael Irvin's son and I'm like, bro, I wish my father was able to put me in a 10,000 square foot home, man. Come on now. But sticking with football. So I told y'all, I went down a rabbit hole. Have y'all checked out the FX series on American Sports Story on Aaron Hernandez? Now, for those who do not know who Aaron Hernandez is, Aaron Hernandez is Aaron Hernandez was a football player, tight end for the New England Patriots. And he was also convicted of murder. And he was acquitted of double murder. When he was, a few days after he was acquitted, he was going to appeal the previous charge, previous conviction. That was the plan. Unfortunately, he decided to end his life early in prison. Well, there's been books, there's been stories, documentaries, all about it. Netflix did a documentary a couple years ago. I just watched that one again. I read Jose Baez, his lawyer's book. And, well, I should say listen to, I'm an audiobook person. And I listened to his brother Jonathan's book. So I went back, I listened to a lot of interviews, watched a lot of segments. And the thing is, man, what I learned from this is, you know, everybody and people probably under the comments saying, well, Aaron Hernandez was a monster, all of that. When you learn about the brain and see, people think, okay, it's just the brain, just thoughts, whatever. But there's like sections and sectors of the brain, stuff responsible for decision making and impulse control and all that. And you learn that this man's skull was this thin and he has so many lesions that they say he wouldn't even been able to function because unfortunately you don't find out about CTE till somebody's dead. And they said he had the most advanced case for a 27-year-old. So that was very, very, very eye-opening. You know, I will never tell anybody how to feel. I won't even tell you what you should think after watching this. But I'll say it was a very interesting story. It's a very well put together piece. Of course, they took some creative liberties, like Cam Newton talked about the laptop and him talking to coach. And he said that never happened. But I thought it was well done. It was very interesting to see the artists who put it together with their interpretation of as far as the reason why he did it, allegedly. Because nobody knows, like we can all say speculate, right? But nobody was there. There's no proof that he pulled the trigger. There's only proof that he was there and evidence that he was there. Which, again, impulse control, brain damage, like all of that going hand in hand. Do that make you take somebody out? I don't know. I would hope and think not. But maybe the decision making, you know, that thought, oh, I'm going to do this. I did it. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting how they put that together. And then the his final day, that may be a little difficult to watch for some people, but you know, shout out to the producers and directors over there. I listen to, like I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to the book, and I'll say this: take care of your bodies, take care of your heads. If you have a child that's playing football and they get a concussion, pay attention. Do not force them to continue to play. That's the best thing and my biggest takeaway after going down and watching a lot of material pertaining to Aaron Hernandez. Listen to your children, because there's also the things about, you know, the alleged sexuality, right? And he couldn't really be himself. His brother talked about him revealing to him how he really felt, but they couldn't be that way. So just listen, man. Listen to your children. I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be back after this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this podcast by wearing a t-shirt, whether it's the one that says breaking through glass ceilings or the one that says no ceilings above success, simply go to foryourwear.com. Also, you can support some of your other favorite podcast and content creators, including Those Wrestling Girls, Seahawk, and the Wrestling Club. And you can support some of your favorite independent wrestlers, including Jay Bougie, Trisha Dora, Chaz the Dawn. Shoot, all the Pure Ignorance is on there. So go on foryourwear.com, go under the personalities, you'll find Brian H. Waters, and buy a t-shirt. And remember, I'll give you a shout out on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, are you in the gym every week? Are you looking to kind of keep yourself cool while you work up a nasty sweat? Well, I got the best thing for you. Cooling bands, bandanas, cooling towels, and so much more. Go to Vertical Athletics, get your favorite team in MLS or MLB, or guess what? Now they have a custom option so you can upload your own logo and you can save 10% at checkout when you enter the code Brian H. Waters. Go to verticalathletics.com, use the code Brian H. Waters to save 10% on some of your best cooling gear. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. So, y'all remember Cat Williams? What he did, what he said, he went viral January. Man, what a month it was. He kicked off the year 2024. And boy, did he light everything on fire. Well, he says that he held back. Yes, Cat Williams said he held back and said he has more. So Shannon Sharp said, well, let's just say the anniversary's coming up. You know, and I think I saw, I don't know if it was Cam Newton, maybe it was somebody else said, I'll bet you the amount of money that you made with Cat Williams. That right there, I mean, that puts Shannon Sharpe into a new stratosphere. You know what I mean? Like, even to the point he had to defend himself to let people know he wasn't Walter Cronkite, he wasn't a journalist, he's a conversationalist and all that. So I would be interested to know what did Cat Williams have? Maybe he'll do it in 2025. They talk some jive. Maybe he'll end it in 5. Who knows? Shout out to Megan Good. Her and Jonathan Majors have announced their engagement. Now, this is a relationship that everybody thought was farce at first. And, Megan Good was married to Devon Franklin for years. They announced their split, and at one point it seemed like they had the picture perfect marriage. A lot of people thought of that. But then, they broke up. She recently got with Jonathan Majors. And people thought, well, maybe they just doing that to keep him out of trouble, the whole nine. Well, maybe not. But they are engaged. So congratulations to them. Now, I'm going to end on a sad, frustrating note today. Because I was online and I seen this thing about from C. Paul Barnhart Elementary School. There was a child who had received a neck contusion who was hung in the bathroom. And they called it horseplay. Yes, you heard me. The school called it horseplay. Now, I don't understand what kind of hatred is going on. I do know that if, neck contusion, it means there's a lot of trauma, and when I saw that, it was sad because I'm thinking about, you send your children to school. They're going to come in contact with other children. And unfortunately, we have lived this life where we make fun of things that's not something that we would do, something that quote unquote seems normal to us. We shame it. It starts in elementary school, shaming, right? People shame you if you wear a certain outfit. That starts at school, that continues as adults. These children aren't taught you don't make fun of people. I teach my children not to use the word weird because you don't know what somebody else's normal is. You don't know their circumstances. Just because that's not what you would do or your culture or what have you, don't mean it's wrong. So when I read this, and I'm like, it's very upsetting that a child went to school and it was attempted murder. Let's call for what it is. What kind of horseplay? I've done a lot of horseplaying in school. Also know that in the horseplaying that I was doing, there was always a teacher around within minutes. So you kind of had to get it in real quick. We went to school, it was during the Attitude Era, right? So it was a lot of stone cold stunners, a lot of DDTs, a lot of clothesline stuff we shouldn't have been doing. But it was all in fun. It was all in fun. I don't understand, how does this happen? And most of the time, the teachers, you got to be paying attention. You can tell when there's tension between two students or somebody don't like that. Didn't just happen. Oh, we're just going to decide to go hang this person. And what are they being taught at home? So it's frustrating. I think the school should be held accountable. I think the school district should be held accountable. I think law enforcement, the area should be held accountable. I think obviously the parents, because that's what's going to take. Parents have to be held accountable. They're not. Like I said, as somebody who was bullied profusely in school, a lot of times you don't say nothing. It never got physical. But, it was always somebody always was, oh man, we cracking jokes. And for what? You know? And it starts there and then it goes online. That's the reason why people who I brought up in the beginning of the show, got people who say they like it better on Bluesky, because that's what they do on Twitter. You tweet something, oh, everybody was like, oh, we're going to get you. I remember I was in Twitter Spaces. I had a sports opinion. Everybody was, started to shame me about it. Pack it up, pack it up. Conversations just aren't healthy anymore. People just aren't healthy anymore. And it's affecting the babies. And it's disgusting. It's very disgusting. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Twitter, Bluesky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok at Brian H. Waters. And also, you know what? While I'm at it, it's the holiday season. Be joyous, be nice to people. And adults, teach your kids that if they don't believe in Santa Claus, it's okay, but they don't need to tell other kids not to. Let's start there. Stop putting your beliefs on other people. Yes, it starts with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Then it goes to legalizing and unlegalizing marijuana and homosexual marriage. And then it goes to religion. But it all starts when you push your beliefs. Stop pushing your beliefs. Stop having your children push their beliefs. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. Do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. Are you a podcaster who is looking to share clips from your show in the simplest way possible? Well, I have the best solution, and that's Opus Clip. Opus Clip allows you to take the link to your show, upload it, and then they will clip off some of the best moments. And it allows you to edit it, change the captions, change the colors, and they also give you a viral score so you know which clip can potentially generate more buzz for your show. So if you're looking to do that, click the link in the bio, sign up for Opus Clip, and go viral with some of the best content from your show.